You can't turn your phone. You don't need to.
But are we sideways? Hey everyone, I'm Allie.
I'm B.
And this is this week's episode of Mind Your Business.
Manic Monday.
Manic Monday with Mind Your Business. So, our world got a little rocked last night. And, hey, Tiana, can you tell us if we're sideways? Because if we are, then we can fix it. Anyway, so, weather last night was a little crazy. But we'll get to that later. So, what we want to talk about today is Halloween do's and don'ts. Even if you've got children, don't have children, like however you plan on doing it, we're going to talk about some costumes. We'll talk about age-appropriate activities. Don't worry, we're not going to hate on you if you are a trick-or-treating adult. Actually, we might. I'm not really sure yet. We'll get there.
I'm going to take my dogs.
So those are some things that we're going to talk about. Also, maybe even add in like some safety features and things that Brittany and I found to stalk each other. We'll do a shout out to Life 360. Anyway, so we're going to dive right into that. The first thing that we're going to start with is costume ideas. I know what I want to be for Halloween this year. Have you picked out something?
I actually saw a really cute post the other day a friend of mine did with her husband, which is the Addams Family, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Because we're dressing Suka up like a little dog Frankenstein. So
She does look like a Frankenstein anyway.
Whatever.
Y'all, her dog's ugly.
She's beautiful. She's special, ugly, beautiful.
She's very ugly. If you don't know what the Target dog is, go look it up. That's her dog without the circle on the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ugly dog. Those dogs are terrible. She's sweet, though. She is sweet.
But she's going to be Frankenstein.
Huh. So, who are you going to be?
I told you, probably the mom. I don't know yet. I'm
So, who's going to be Wednesday?
I don't know. Kids are with their dad this week.
Oh, man, that
Probably
sucks.
Free.
Yeah, you guys, she has a dog named Retard. He really is stupid. Oh, that poor thing. Anyway, I'm not going with the Addams Family thing because I feel like it's going to be really cliche and everybody and their mom is going to be doing that, or anybody from Game of Thrones. I totally see that happening.
I think they're kind of phased out, though. I haven't seen anything about that at all.
I totally see it happening. I so see it happening because they just had their finale like before this upcoming Halloween. So it was this summer. Was it this summer? I think it was this summer. Yeah.
Early
Spring. It was like early spring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm trying to avoid the cliche things because I don't want to run into people and like take the chance of their costume looking better than mine when we're like going as the same thing. So I'm trying to focus a little more on, things that are going to be different. However, I just went and saw the movie Maleficent. That was our date night this weekend. And Angelina Jolie is a bad, you know what? Like, she is amazing.
That's like my role model.
And she looks super freaking hot in the movie. And she's like a total evil villain. And, I won't give much away about the movie. But, dudes, if you haven't seen it because you think it's a total chick flick, I'm just going to tell you, my man went and watched it with me. There's a lot of battle war stuff in there, so I think you'll really like it. Definitely don't feel like it is like young kid appropriate, so keep that in mind if you guys have kids. We were sitting next to like a really young kid, and I was like, what the heck?
What movie just came out? And they're like, don't bring your kids because it's not for kids.
The Joker?
Yeah.
I don't know why you would take your kids to that anyway. It was rated R.
I've literally seen people taking their little, probably 6 to 8 to 9 to 10-year-olds in there. I'm like,
yeah, people are dumb.
You're a bad parent. I'm going to say that out loud. Like, you're a bad parent.
Agreed. Anyway, so I want to go as Maleficent. My family is not doing the theme thing. I still don't know what my man's gonna go as. But my son has like this really curly hair. It's like Afro curly. I so want to dress him as Richard Simmons for Halloween. I need to just find him like the little striped shorts though, because we got the long we got the long socks. I need to get him some sweatbands. Like I'm gonna rock this thing 100% because
funny.
we're in Texas and typically Halloween is still pretty warm, so we can get away with stuff like that. For those of you watching us from like the northern states, sorry. I'm so rocking. I'm gonna make my son, he's 15 months old, I'm gonna have him rock the Richard Simmons costume because I think it's gonna be hilarious.
That is
no telling what my daughter will be. She goes between like princesses and superheroes, so who knows? You just never know what you're gonna get with her. Last year she was Moana and everybody loved it. I did her makeup and I got it
She did look cute.
She looked like just like Moana. It was crazy. So we go all out for the whole trick-or-treating thing. I will say the one thing that I hope to see start fading out soon, and I know the guys, because I see a lot of guys watching this right now, you guys are totally going to hate on me for this. Is there any costume out there that is not like, that cannot be turned into a total slut bucket costume?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of seeing women our age.
That's your night to show your ass and your tits.
And vagina.
And it's okay. Like, it's
is there, I just want to challenge the world. Like, is there anything out there that they can, like, the most unsexy thing? I feel like Halloween, they can find a way to make it sexy. It's crazy. I saw a post from, like, my timeline years ago where I was joking with a friend and I was talking about this with her, like, God, everything is like too sexy because we were trying to get costumes to go to
it's hard to be funny. Like, I want to go have funny or scare the hell out of somebody.
Yeah. Not worry about your
hoo-ha
vagina cheeks falling. So, but anyway, like her and I were looking for pirate costumes because we were going to go do the pirate pub crawl, and this was in Anchorage, Alaska. It was freezing cold outside. And there was snow everywhere and ice everywhere. And I was like, I don't want to wear some slut bucket pirate costume because I'm going to freeze to death. And if I got to run from pub to pub and bar to bar, like, I don't want to be wearing something.
And break your leg.
Yeah, and there were, like, lines outside of all of these pubs with people trying to get their stamp on there. So I was like, no, hell no. Like, that's too crazy. I don't want to do it. So I found that repost. And it was like sexy nurse, sexy devil, like all the cliche sexy cop, you know. And then the last one was like a chick and she had like polka dots all over her ass. And it was a hospital gown and the back of it was open so you could see her butt cheeks. And it was like the starting phase of syphilis, sexy version. It was like they literally can make anything sexy. Wow. It is absolutely ridiculous. So, I feel like there's an age where you hit I don't need to wear the sexy costumes anymore. If you are above the fraternity age, you should probably lay off the leather and tight fitting ones and the ones that show everything.
I hate whenever, like, okay,
you might be a little old for
even
that.
Even at the restaurant, these older women, because Oregon Rockwall, and you have Rockwallians that are uppity, and you see these women who they're in their 45s to 60s that are dressing like 15-year-olds, and myself and other people that work there just look at each other and we're like, oh my God, I hope I don't look like that when I'm that age. Like, I
mean, some of them actually do look hot though.
Some of them just don't.
And then I'm like, all right, go ahead, girl. Like, I'm gonna sit over here and hate because you look good, and I'm like 20 years younger than you.
You do have those, yes. And, I mean, I think at some time
we gotta talk about this. Like, Rockwall women are usually pretty attractive. Now, if we move over, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and city bash, but y'all know who you are. I just want to say, like east of Collin County, and we keep on moving out. Don't be wearing those costumes. Sorry, I'm hating on East Texas over here.
Know your limits, or be proud of what you got and flaunt it, and just don't be ashamed of it. Like, don't be in the middle awkward. Like, I tried it, but it didn't work.
But don't be the mom that's going out trick or treating with your 5-year-old
wearing a hoochie dress.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be picking up dudes on Halloween with your kids. Come on,
we'll call you out.
So that's a Halloween. Don't. However, if you're going to like a sexy adult party, by all means, rock it, flaunt it, be happy, do what you want, own it, be proud. You go, girl or guy, because guys are starting to do that stuff now too. I keep seeing like the man romper.
That's a different subject.
Oh, let's see. You are both sideways. That's what I was asking. Okay, so we gotta turn this. Great. Whole half of our video is gonna be like sideways. All right, let's see if we're trying to squeeze both of us in here as I make you all drunk. Promise this is coffee. No Kahlua. Okay. Hi, Dewey. Dewey's on here.
Hello, Dewey.
Long time no see.
Must see him the other day.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, anyway. So, on the costume ideas, I would say dues. Go with something that's comfortable. Yeah. I don't know about you, but costumes are usually made kind of cheap with like that real cheap, itchy fabric.
Like, be unique. Do something crazy or
that's a do.
Unique or funny, or don't follow the crowd. Nobody wants that.
Yes, definitely. That's what I was saying. I don't want to go with the Addams Family because I know everybody is going to do it. What's up, Patrick?
No, I mean, I just Frankenstein. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but it's cute. But I'm definitely dressing my dog up like Frankenstein.
So I would say what I was getting on for the costume don'ts is that uncomfortable fabric. Like, don't make yourself miserable. You know, get something that's going to be comfortable. If it's going to be going up your butt crack, you don't want it to be cheap fabric, ladies.
Yeah,
and fellas.
Even every time I dress up when I actually go out or go do something, I always bring flip-flops or my boots because I never wear dress-up clothes. I can't.
She don't know how to walk in heels. Y'all don't want to see this girl walk in heels. It doesn't happen. It never happens. She had to borrow my heels for a photo shoot a while back, and she was just like, "Why do you have all these hooker heels?" I was like, "Because I actually wear them and know how to walk in them. Thank you." Oh, so much fun. So, I think we kind of hit the costume thing, pretty hard. I say go with what's comfortable, go with something unique, and try to keep it age appropriate depending on the activity that you're going to. Got anything you want to add to that?
No, I just want to touch base on, like, I see between a lot of different parents where I see these random posts of if people are caught trick-or-treating after the age of 15 or 16, they get fined or they can go to jail or some stupid crap like that.
Haters, man.
Having older kids and me trick-or-treating till like 14 or 15, I'd rather my kids be out trick-or-treating than smoking or going out drinking or doing crap they're not supposed to or actually get arrested. So I didn't know, like, what are y'all's thoughts on that, or what are things that y'all find or have found for your age group appropriate kids that other people can look into? Because there's some people like let their kids go and they're like, oh, just be back at this time, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they're hanging out with, what they're getting into. I mean, we were bad kids. I don't know what we did.
I was good. Which that leads us into our next topic, age appropriate activities, and kind of where you guys stand. Definitely hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you're going as for Halloween. Feel free to share a picture. Come back to this video on Halloween night and share your picture because I'm really excited to see some of these. And I'm totally sharing the Richard Simmons picture of my baby because that's just gonna be funny. So definitely follow that, and I would love to see what you guys are doing and see what you guys are all interested in. So for the age appropriate activities, the one thing that we wanted to talk about was the trick-or-treating. First of all, I've trick-or-treated my entire life.
Yeah.
I had kids so that I could go trick-or-treating.
It's weird because
I'm not hating on a teenager that wants to show up to my door and ask for candy. Like, that's the one night that you get to go out of your house on a school night, usually, because it rarely falls on a weekend. Mm-hmm. On a school night, you get to go out, you get to ask complete strangers in your neighborhood or some rich neighborhood, depending on how you do it, can I have some candy? All you gotta say is trick or treat. You don't have to say please and thank you. I mean, I make my kids say that, but so for me, I don't see the big issue with it. Like, the kids are out trick-or-treating, they're not out smoking weed, they're not out getting drunk and running your kids over with their cars. They're not out doing dangerous things. They're out trick-or-treating. Stop hating on the teenagers, guys. You all know you did it too. I can't stand these people who are like, there's an age when you should stop trick-or-treating. No. there's no age when you should stop trick-or-treating. Like, the whole thing about trick-or-treating is to bring communities together. And you go out in your neighborhood and you meet your neighbors. And it's nice, no matter what age you are, to come across somebody who has a really cool setup in their yard and start talking to them and find out things about them. And then, look, you've made a new friend in your neighborhood. So I don't see any issues with that at all.
I don't. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't have people just know your kid. I mean, if you think your kid's gonna go out and terrorize, obviously don't let them do it. Some people will go out and terrorize and scare the hell out of little kids just for the fun of it. I'm not saying go let your kid do that. Don't look at me.
Listen, if your kid terrorizes my kid, bring it on, because I am coming after your kid. I'm gonna scare the ever living Ishne out of them. You know, with respect. I'm not gonna like hurt your kid, but that's kind of one of the things I like about, like, when people do scare my daughter, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get him. I'm so gonna get him. Yeah, and I like wait around the corner and I'm like, ah, and they're like, what the heck? That is so me. I'm trying to read some of these. Pay attention to the blue bags, jack-o'-lanterns. Those are for people with autism. I like that. I did not know that. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a good thing to know.
The way it distinguishes, like, you know, people who do randomly go and scare, or you have the scarecrows out the front yard. Don't bring your kid to that. Like, know your kid as well as what you're about to bring him into, because if not, that's gonna be a hot mess itself.
I'm leaning you into the picture because you're like cut in half. Yeah, that is a really good thing. So if you guys aren't reading the comments, what Blake Stanley said is pay attention to those blue bags and jack-o'-lanterns, because it's an indication of people with autism or developmental issues. My child has, she's got bipolar disorder. And so for me, she also gets really scared and has kind of some sensory issues. So it's important for me now as a parent to know that, because I know that I need to go get her one of those. Because she is like, when we go trick-or-treating, she's like deathly terrified to walk up to some of these houses, and I'm like, it's okay, like, I'm with you. And she will like skip strings of houses just to avoid one house. So that's a really good thing to know. I like that.
I mean, it gets into where like, it lets them stand out, but they don't stand out. Like, it's not a flashing light, like, oh, don't bother this person, but it's a little indicator to where they can still feel comfortable and still be having fun without being pointed out as something's wrong, or, you know, hey, you don't bother this person. It's just a very subtle, be nice.
That's a good one. Another thing about the trick-or-treating, check your kid's candy. I know that it is like my kid gets a crap ton of candy. I'm like, there's no, y'all, she don't even eat half of it. Her birthday's in November, and I use her Halloween candy to fill her birthday treat bags. Not even joking. So, repurposing. But check the candy. So many parents are just like, oh no, my neighborhood is this, my neighborhood is that. I trust the people. Check the dang candy. I don't care how much you trust the neighborhood, because how many of you have gotten on, you know, these websites to find out what kind of sexual predators live in your neighborhood, what kind of other criminals live in your neighborhood? You don't know. You really don't know. And coming from a family with a father who's a police officer, I've always learned that it is imperative to check your child's candy, because you don't want your child getting any kind of weird. People are terrorizing our country with viruses and bacteria. I mean, it's still like it's a terrorist thing that people are doing. What better way to do it than on Halloween and innocent children's candy, right? Check the stuff. It's not safe. Check for any kind of punctures. Check for, if it's open. I've seen some really gross stuff in my child's candy bag. Like, she had a piece of bubble gum that was chewed up, like the double bubble. It was chewed up and wrapped back in the wrapper, and that's what was in her Halloween basket. And I was like, who the hell does that?
I actually got to where, like, whenever the last couple of years, I would sit the kids down and I would show them, like, hey, look at this. Like, you know, this could happen, or people could put this in it. That's why I don't do it. So educate them as you're doing it. That way y'all can do it together to where they're more aware, and they'll start doing it. Cause my kids are older, they do it themselves, but then they just throw their candy away. They like to go just scare people and not get the candy.
Yeah, because that's that age. and then that leads me into another thing. As your kids get older, they're more and more likely to want to do stuff like go to haunted houses or go to like the Halloween festivals, like, boo on whatever, or, just things like that, the fall festival, this, that. So those I think are better directed towards children that are reaching like their teens, because you try to bring younger kids there and there's a lot of scary stuff around, usually stuff that scares little kids. They're overcrowded. They're most of them are not made for strollers or even keeping, you know, control of young children.
What the churches have been doing the last couple of years, like Lavon Church,
the trunk or treats
area, yeah, they've been doing some really like little horseback ridings, bounce houses,
hay rides and stuff like that are good. I like the indoor stuff, especially with the little kids.
Well, it's a variety, so you'll have, you know, older kids doing this, while you have little stands set up everywhere else for little kids with like little
games.
Yeah,
so those are fun, you know, just things to keep in mind if you're looking to have fun on Halloween, depending on the age of your children or you as an adult. You know, try to avoid certain things that may not be as enticing for you because of the amount of young children that would be there, things like that. But you guys already know this. One of my favorite things to do is go to the Fright Fest at Six Flags. That is, I think it's so much fun because there's always like creepy people coming around and scaring people in line.
The Ripley's, believe it or not, because oh my god,
I've never been on Halloween.
They deck that place out, and I'm telling you, between that and the Fort Worth Mall, that's a 2-story, and they just decked all that out. Those are the two best places I've been to.
No, the best place that we've been to, if you guys have not gone yet, it's a little pricey and there's a long wait, but I promise you're entertained in line. If you have not gone to Cutting Edge Haunted House, it is literally the top haunted house in the world.
In the world, where they stand behind like the little video games and pop out and scare you.
No, it's different every year. And we went we didn't go last year because I had like the baby was really, really little, and then the year before that I was pregnant. But we went the year before that. Oh my god, it was so much fun. Like. It was a blast, and it's a long haunted house. I mean, like, you wait in line for a while, and you're entertained the whole time you're in line. There was, like, a skeleton band playing music. Like, it was so cool. It was like a drum line. The coolest thing I've ever seen, so if you guys haven't checked out Cutting Edge, get out there, check them out. That was a blast. Definitely a good one for adults. I would say teenagers. It's appropriate for teenagers, too. I wouldn't go below teenager. You're going to scare the crap out of your little kids. Don't put them through that. I think that's really all I have on activities. Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Not really.
So we want to hit on something that happened last night for those of you in Texas, especially in the Dallas area. I am choking right now. We had quite the weather scare last night. We had a tornado literally touch down across the street from her. And I was watching like fences get blown over in my neighborhood and just hearing like the loudest thunder. We were under tornado warning. I mean, it went from watch to warning like that. And it started in Dallas, and we had multiple tornadoes. And the one that was...
there was 3.
The one that was on the ground the longest was in Dallas, and it did a lot of damage. I mean, people lost their homes, people lost their businesses. There haven't been, as far as we know, any reports of like fatalities or major injuries or anything like that. But these people are, you know, they're in a state of devastation, and it's a major disaster for such a populated area like Dallas. And then the other one hit the Rockwall area just outside of Dallas. Then we've got some of the rural areas that were hit by like some downsurge winds with like a really powerful straight line winds, and these people are all being displaced. There were people that were evacuated from hotels because the windows were busting out. There's tons of hail damage. It was really nasty, and it took the debris and the destruction covers like such a huge area. And we with Halloween coming up and with the holidays coming up, B and I were like, what can we do to help these people out? You know, the biggest thing that we did is we don't want to take money because there's so many scams out there and things like that, and people end up just turning a blind eye because when you give money to somebody, you have to trust that they're going to give it to the appropriate foundation or people. So what we're doing is trying to collect perishable food items, toiletries, any clothing that you have that your kids may have grown out of, or shoes, things like that. You know, the things that you would imagine would be most essential if your house was destroyed.
Yeah, I would even say even toys. I mean, go through your old toys and stuff like that. When kids are in a shelter and there's nothing but bed. I mean, that one little toy is going to keep them occupied or keep them happy in the state that they're in.
And costumes. My daughter saves her Halloween costumes every year and
now
plays dress up with them.
They won't have money to go get one, so if you have one.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, the insurance is, for a lot of these homes, is going to take, a while to pay out. And the amount of damage in some of these areas is really devastating. We've got friends on our social media whose houses were destroyed. I mean, completely destroyed. So it's hard to see that. And when you go into times like this, whenever, the weather starts getting bad and it starts cooling down, how are these families going to keep their kids warm? How are they going to feed their family? Where are they going to find shelter at? So we really just want to find, bring in as much perishable items and clothing items and things like that so that we can take them over to the shelters and, to some of the other locations in Dallas and hand those over to those people that are really in need. So if you guys are interested in donating anything, B and I are in 2 different cities. She's over in Rowlett, which was hit pretty hard. Yeah. So you guys can drop off a lot of that with her. You'll have to message us privately and we can tell you where to meet up with us. And then I'm in the Lavon, Wiley area, so also closer to Farmersville. So if you guys want to, like I said, if you want to reach out or you want to donate, reach out to one of us and we can help you find us, or we can create, a central location and then her and I can go pick them up maybe at like a local church or something. I'll probably end up
talking to Randy, my pastor as well, and Josephine, and I think they'll be taking donations. I got to get with him here in a little bit, but I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So we just really want to, express our, send out warm hugs and love to all of those families that were hit by that. B and I were up in the middle of the night texting each other, making sure we were okay. Our friends were texting us, making sure we were okay. And for those of you that did reach out, I really appreciate it. I was sitting in my closet with a baby who was wide awake and a 5-year-old who was comatose and my boyfriend and my dog. And my cat, he was on his own. If y'all are cat lovers, I'm sorry. There's no way he's coming in the closet with the dog. It's not happening. But he's a survivor, okay? He survived the Alaskan wilderness for 30 days by himself, so I have all the faith in the world that if a tornado hit this house, that cat would be okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing to consider, pet food, because there are people in these homes that were destroyed that have pets, and just anything that you can think of to help. Soap,
toothpaste, toothbrushes. Yeah. I mean, if you're a dentist and work, I mean, anything, even if you do certificates at your work or any little thing that'll, like a hot meal, like I'm saying, like I work at a restaurant, I can reach out to my work and say, can you do gift certificates and we'll drop them off at this place, or
I know some of y'all got them Chick-fil-A cards out there. Listen, people are hungry. No, for real though, there are people that have these rewards and things that Raising Cane's passes them out every time they open up a new one. I know Chick-fil-A does too. Some of the major food chain restaurants do. If you guys have that ability, feel free to bless somebody with a meal, and we can put our heads together and figure out how to connect you to the people that are really struggling. Because I've got a couple of families on my Facebook and my Instagram right now that I know are struggling. So I can send you straight to them. So that's all we have on that. We want to keep it lighthearted and fun, but it is, it's a tragedy and it's unfortunate, and we just want to do what we can to help. So that is all we have for this episode of Manic Monday with Mind Your Business. I'm Allie.
And I'm B.
And we are signing out. Y'all have a wonderful week.